Stop fucking my mojo. That's what you deserve, motherfucker.
Get ready, Warlocks, you're getting buffed! Or are you? The unstoppable river of news brings us the new TITANFORGING Corrupted, and it is... You'll have to watch the video to see. Blizzcon 2019 is prepping us for huge and secret announcements as we will look at how BFA actually ends and much, much more. So take your stack, take your drink, and watch until the end. Today's On Cooldown, your weekly WoW News show.
Oh, Friday! Oh my God! Work week is done! What are you doing? Well, you better be watching this video because, yeah, you're watching this video. What are we talking about today, man?
Man, hold on, man, hold on. You just jumping straight right in. It's On Cooldown, baby, your weekly WoW News show. And yeah, we're talking about some great stuff. BFA ending, presumably. The new TITANFORGING, which is a new TITANFORGING. That isn't a TITANFORGING, and we have a new name phrase for that, and we coined that. We have license for that shit. You're gonna find out all in the video. What else? What else?
Have you guys seen that BlizzCon posted their schedule?
And the map, the floor map, don't forget. And we cover a lot of shit in the video about the BlizzCon things because there's a lot of coming soon.
Like, what's going on, man? What's going on? But that's not all, guys, so stay tuned because, oh man, we have some juicy scoops for you today. Finally, TITANFORGING is gone. Or is it though? We had our first glimpse of the new corrupt forging. Yes, we are coining this. And it's looking like the punch at a college party. Not sure if good or bad yet, but once it's in the system, it might be too late to change anything. To make it simple, starting with 8.3, items can no longer drop Warforged or Titanforged or any kind of forged, unless it's corrupt forged. Instead, an item can drop Corrupted, also an RNG system. When an item is corrupted, it will give you a bonus and a negative effect, the Kiss Curse mechanic. The bonus seems to be one of 3 different levels, from a standard 2% increase in X stat to 3 and 4%. The negative will be a new secondary stack called Corruption. The amount of corruption you will get can vary, but is still somewhat proportional to the bonus effect. Corruption will accumulate on your character if you start to use more of these items, and when it reaches a certain threshold, it will add a negative aura on you. Currently, there are a few auras on the PTR that seem to be very detrimental. The first one you get is going to slow your movement speed by up to 80% when taking damage. This, of course, has a chance to happen. Another example is an aura that will increase the damage you take by 18% and reduce the healing you take and do by 18% as well, scaling with the level of corruption. These are the first set of numbers and effects that can change. The order they apply to you can also change. At this point, the debuffs are close to lethal, but there will be ways to reduce the overall corruption, mitigating the stat and allowing you to equip more. Certain essences do it at this moment, as an example. The overall reception seems to be leaning on the negative side. It's another RNG system that can, maybe, make your character stronger if the RNG is with you. Although with the current iteration of the debuffs, I find it a little bit hard to believe. On a plus note, Blizzard has been super on point with the community and are constantly making changes to the system. As we are editing this, blue posts are coming out clarifying and taking more of the feedback into consideration, so I'm actually keeping my hopes pretty high on this. I still have a personal issue about the fact that we are replacing an RNG system with another RNG system. The execution though can change that, of course, although outside a casino-like loot fest where we get enough pieces to counteract the RNG and negative nature of the effects, I don't see at the moment what they can do. This though solves the eye level issue, of course, but the other problem where you work and grind towards your reward is still there, because if you loot the ring from the boss with the wrong bonus and or negative effect, you still have to refarm and reloot the same ring until the perfect version of your ring drops. This is something I will struggle with till the day that I die.
Everybody and their mother hinted at BlizzCon 2019 being cancelled, and you cannot really blame most of them when you think about all the shit that's been happening with Blizzard. But hey, the schedule was announced, the floor map revealed, and as always, BlizzCon gear is to be sold. Now, if you look at the Mythic stage here, like, everything is marked with coming soon, and apart from the opening ceremony, we have a total of 4 secret announcements. I guess we can call them secrets by now, okay? Did you hear that? 4! So let's get the usual suspects out of the way, okay? Diablo 4, new WoW expansion, Overwatch 2 or an Overwatch expansion, and what could be the fourth mystery here, man? There is much talk in the community about a Diablo 2 Reforged, and man, let me tell you, that would mean at least 1 month vacation for me just to play that beauty once again. Don't know about Flame though. It can also be a StarCraft related announcement, but to be fair, with the recent cancellation of the FPS they were planning within that universe, you would be correct to think that a StarCraft 3 RTS is a bit far-stretched, and I highly doubt they would announce a 45-minute battle for more goddamn co-op missions within StarCraft 2. Anyhow, we did talk in previous episodes that it's very possible they will show a brand new IP, because if you remember, from last year's BlizzCon they did mention in multiple instances that they have more people working on games than they ever had in the company's history. And I know you're thinking about all those mobile projects, but remember, as mentioned in this past Kotaku article, they did pull more people from mobile and the cancelled StarCraft FPS to focus more on Diablo, Overwatch, and WoW. And I think it's clear by now that they adopted this strategy to just pump their existing franchises as much as they can. However, a new IP isn't totally out of discussion, since during this year certain voices were pointing at a fighting game either with a fresh new vibe or based on old Blizzard franchises, similar to how HOTS was. And this isn't really a big surprise when taking into account they always want to get into games that have a strong competitive component. I just hope they don't do a battle royale, man. Anyway, the event will be live in just a week from now, and you can be sure that MarcelianOnline will get you news, debates, reactions, most of the announcements as soon as they go live. And hey man, what would you want? A Diablo 2 Reforged or a brand new IP? How about a Blizzard Mortal Kombat-like fighting game? Hit it in the comments, baby.
And in today's comment of the day, we have Absolute, and he said,
Why does this annoying fuck always pop in my YouTube shit? Most annoying fuck nerd ever.
Here I am. 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 Here I am.
N'Zoth is dead. Well, not yet, but I have been gifted the Sight of the Future by Wowhead data miners. We actually have a cutscene for what looks like the raid finale, and spoiler alert, whatever, you knew what you were getting into. There's no audio for it yet, and from a few looks at it, seems like it could be incomplete. Either it has a few seconds missing, or it finalizes in an in-game question or interaction with an NPC. Either way, there is one major thing I would like to touch upon: the way N'Zoth dies. We, and by we I mean you, and by you I mean all of us, following me, get to shoot N'Zoth in the face with the power of your Heart of Azeroth. I want Bolvar! This cinematic will most likely play into us losing the power of the Heart of Azeroth because we, once again, exhausted to save Azeroth, but this time, hopefully, Azeroth won't still be shafted by the end. Although we still haven't touched on the Sword of Sargeras yet, so I don't even know anymore. Other than this, there isn't much to say if you ask me. In the cinematic, N'Zoth doesn't really seem hurt as he would be after a battle with Azeroth's champions, and the fact that Mother channels the Azerite cannon, which might still be rank 4 for the focusing Ares Essence, kind of shows that we are exhausting all the power we accumulated. Unless the Chamber of the Heart is secretly a cannon and has been all along, and we will steadily enter the rule of Mother.
I vote for Mother. These bastards have been pushing me around.
It's a very confusing time for all Dead Knights across Azeroth as more and more information is data mined concerning their kin. We have the Ebon Blade Blades, and now we're looking at a brand new intro cinematic for them? All we have is the data mine text from Wowhead, and this does tie in with the ally race thing from a week ago and all the speculation regarding the new expansion having Bolvar to play an important role. But man, let me tell you, if they will bring a new intro cinematic for DKs, this would imply that they redo all the leveling experience, right? This is concerning because, among other things, you have to remember the Battle of Light's Hope Chapel. You know, that cool moment when the Argent Crusade is formed, with Tyrion getting the Ashbringer and all of that? It would really suck if they remove that just to feed Vulpera somehow. Overall, one does have the feeling that they are releasing and adding a lot of stuff to 8.3 prior to BlizzCon, so they get as much room as possible to talk about the new expansion and possibly 8.3.5 stuff.
Let's talk Warlock buffs. Now, don't get your hopes up so far. We don't have the math out just yet. Also, the changes are not yet implemented in the current version of the PTR, so it's a bit difficult to test them more than just talk about the math. The buffs apply to the first row of talents, specifically to Nightfall and Drain Soul. We already know Deathbolt is going to be nerfed, and even with the nerf, it would still outclass the other options. On this note, a quick sim to give you a better idea would be this, that essentially shows the difference between the three options on live servers. 50% bonus to Drain Soul might bring it up, but I'm not sure if it will be enough, since really it shines in execute phases. And to be fair, there are bosses that stay in a prolonged execute phase every now and again, so it could shine there. Nightfall will proc 33% more often and increase the damage to Shadow Ball by 50%, up from 25%. The current proc chance is horrendous, and I would be more than happy to play this if they don't buff the damage that much but increase the proc by a bit more. Affliction should be about applying curses and corruption instantly and having mobility as a result. Hard casting Shadow Bolts like a maniac with absolutely zero addition to the shards or energy or synergy or anything with any other spell sounds incredibly dull. The buff is nice to bring it up, and I hope they make it into a viable M+ talent, because God knows we are lacking on that front. From what I have read in the community, there are also fundamental scaling issues with Shadow Bolt and Drain Soul when it comes to the secondary stats, so the buffs might and maybe should be the first of many changes to Affliction. Don't get me wrong, Affliction is doing very good damage, but the spec itself plays very clunky, especially in dungeons. Fingers crossed for the future.
Whoo, man, this was a doozy. A lot of stuff. A lot of goddamn stuff.
I'm pumped.
And one must wonder, man, there's a lot of information just coming in from all over the sources and places, and this goes to show, I think all of this is coming like this because there's a lot of BlizzCon to dive in. I think they will show a lot at BlizzCon.
Yeah, I think that they have to hype it a little bit more than usual.
Yeah, well, think about it like this. For WoW, all of the information, all of the data mining, everything there is like, they're not going to talk about 8.3. I'm almost sure of it,
Yeah,
except Q&A.
Maybe a little bit Q&A, but I think we got pretty much everything that we need from 8.3, and we're still probably gonna get, you know, like along the way, a couple of new additions, but mostly the new expansion.
Oh yeah, the new expansion, definitely. But you know what's interesting, and I didn't cover this in my BlizzCon topic. If you were to look at the floor map, and you would compare it to, because I did this obviously because I'm a geek, and if you would compare it to the previous floor map from 2018, the section where you have the mythic stage is all fucking empty, like on the sides. If you look at the other stages, they have a lot of shit like stores, demos, and all of that. There's also the Blizzard Arcade, where they have Diablo 2, Blackthorn, a lot of old titles and stuff. But on the mythic stage, so if you look like on the sides, you're gonna probably see it on the screen, there's emptiness over there. And I can bet your ass that there is going to be a lot of gameplay demos over there for the announcements.
Oh man, I wish we were going, man. You're making me sad now.
Next year, baby. Next year.
But hey, guys, don't forget, I actually didn't mention this in the corrupted section, but don't feel too threatened, don't feel too bad or good about the corrupted system, because it's most likely going to go away in 9.0, because
it is. They did say so.
Yeah, they did say so, and it seems like they're trying to do more season-specific things, which that's probably a topic for another video.
Yeah. All in all, it's too early to call. It's just, you know, the first feedback. They asked for feedback. We're giving them feedback.
Yeah, they're changing the numbers constantly, man.
Yeah, it's still early to call. And I'm happy that they are listening to the players and stuff. So they're adjusting. It's always a good thing. And to be honest, this is an expansion and an Azad theme type mechanic. It's not going to carry over 9.0. So there you go.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know, more solid stuff is going to happen in the WoW expansion, but I think we're all going to find out in a week from now. And by the way, I cannot stress this enough, guys. You should be here on this channel, like next Friday, especially because we're going to have stuff pumping out back. Like, we're going to start off with the reaction video. We're going to record that shit live. We cannot live stream it, obviously, because of, you know, they don't allow us to, yeah. But we are going to have like the first video out, and then we're going to keep on pumping videos for almost every announcement that interests us
It's kind of like WoW related, man. Everything has to do with WoW, Warcraft, and a little bit dabbling into Diablo
yeah,
stuff.
we're gonna have some Diablo shit as well because they're gonna probably announce it. I don't know, maybe you're gonna post some hot shit if they have something epic or a new IP shit, who knows. Big shout out to all of our Patreons and our Twitch subscribers who are helping and supporting us each and every month for all of the guides we do and all of the news pieces we do on Cooldown and the WoW Talks on Monday. It's an absolute overwhelming and humble feeling that we have having so many Patreons and Twitch subscribers so far.
I don't think I was ready for this to be this big that quick, man.
Yeah, it's overwhelming, and honestly, at some point we just don't know what to say except like thank you. And if you're interested in all of that Patreon stuff, you can find the link in the description. You're gonna have some rewards there as well. Also, if you're interested in our merch, t-shirts with Marcelian&Online and Warcrafty stuff, hoodies, all of that, you can also see it in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.
Take care, everybody.